Hey, how you doing? We had a request received in from one of our subscribers, Francesco. Hey, and thank you for the comment. And somebody else with an anonymous thumb who liked Francesco's comment, requesting that we go ahead and make this generic model site building. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we'll go to File. We'll go straight into it. File, New, Family, find generic model, metric generic model, and here we go. Now, we're going to set this up. You need first thing you want to consider when you're starting to make a family is what's the placement point is. Okay, so I'm going to decide that's obviously the placement point, but that's going to be the front left corner of the building. Okay, so that's where I'm going to place. That's the point where I want to place my building from. If you want it to be in the middle or the back, whatever, then you'd want to set it up accordingly. Okay. So anyway, we're going to calculate the height as ground to soffit, and then we're going to give a soffit depth parameter, and we're going to give a fascia height parameter and a pitch parameter, okay? And then the height we're going to calculate from all those values and using some trigonometry, okay? I'll also put the building down below the ground level down to, let's say, a foundation or whatever. So just because obviously the building might be raised above the ground on your site. I might put a path in as well. Okay, we're in a plan view now. So let's start setting up the reference planes, okay? So that's the back of our building there, and the right hand side there. Okay, and I'm going to put parallel reference planes across the front and back for the depth of the soffit. Okay, and I'm going to put parallel reference planes to the left and right for the depth of the barge, or the gable barge, the overhang. Okay, so let's start dimensioning that. Dimension. This is the width. This is, sorry, it's not. This is the depth. Okay, so select new parameter, width. Okay, like this guy, new parameter, depth. Okay, now dimensions, these parallel lines, that's our soffit. This one, again, escape, select the two of them, new parameter, soffit. Okay, we call this guy what we call it, gable barge or gable soffit, gable overhang. That's what I'm going to do, gable overhang. Select these two, new parameter, gable overhang. Okay, all right. That's a good start. So we go into one of our side elevations. Click on left. Okay, so we have our ground level here. Let's create a reference plane for, let's say, the top of foundation, and a reference plane above for the soffit level, and a reference plane above that for the top of the fascia. Okay. We're going to dimension from our ground level down to foundation, our ground level up to the soffit, and from the soffit to the top of the fascia. All right, so select that guy, new parameter, ground to found, let's say. Okay, ground to soffit. Okay, fascia. Okay. All right. Now it's about to start getting a little bit more complicated. Okay. No, it's not. Just a little bit quirkier, let's say. So in the Create tab, click on Reference Line, not Reference Plane, Reference Line, and we're going to take a reference line from the corner there, from where the fascia is going to hit the pitch, basically, right? So you can see that's going to be the roof pitch. Okay. Escape. Do the same at the front here from the fascia. Okay. Escape. Escape. And using my Align and with lock selected, I'm going to pick the outside of the roof pitch, tab until I find the point, unlock. I'm going to select this reference plane and tag until I find the point, unlock. I'm going to do the same over here, tab, tab. Okay. I'm going to use my dimension, angular, dimension here to here, and here to here. Escape, escape. Select the two of those dimensions and create parameter, and we'll call this guy pitch. Okay. So let's say I will leave it at 40 degrees for now. Okay. So let's start making some extrusions. Okay. So what do we got? We can make a rectangular or simple extrusion for the body of the house. Okay. So create tab, extrusion, rectangle, up here to down there to the foundation. Lock, 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 and select. And while it's still selected, I'm going to click on the associate parameter for material and click new. And we'll call this guy wall material, let's say. Okay. All right. Oh, do you know something? That's not actually entirely correct because we're making a pitch roof, so we want the wall to go up underneath the gable. Okay. So we need some more parameters. Sorry, we're going to need some more reference planes. So, or reference lines. So into the modified tab, let's say maybe an offset, I don't know, 200. Copy. Underneath, escape, dimension, this guy to that guy, that guy to this guy, escape, select those two dimensions, and we'll call that new parameter, create parameter, roof depth. And okay, all right, I'm just going to make that a bit smaller for now because it's a bit disproportionate. Okay, so now I'm going to just edit that extrusion that I just made for the walls. I'm going to bring it up to the roof pitch. Okay, so edit extrusion. I'm going to pick and lock the underside reference line, sorry, and that one. And I'm going to get rid of this one and trim the corners, trim, 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 trim. Okay. Now if we go into my plan view, I can just use the toggle bar to toggle handle to lock that. Then pull it over to here and lock it. Sorry, to here. Lock. Don't forget the outside one is the roof overhang. Okay. So if you want to have a quick look at that in 3D, one sec. Okay, 3D there. I'll just change the scale so that writing's not in your way. Okay, right. You see the shape of the walls. Okay, right. Back into our left view. Create extrusion. Same thing. We'll pick lines this time. Okay, pick line with lock selected. That's the fascia. That's the soffit. That's the roof going up the wall. That's the pitch. Now I'm just going to trim all those and continue the other side. Trim, 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 trim. And pick these guys the same. Pick, 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 and pick, and reference lines. Actually, if I made a mistake that time, I actually picked the roof, sorry, the wall. So I'll pick that again. I'm going to pick the reference line. Okay. So trim, trim, sorry, trim, 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 true. There we go. Trim the top. There it is. All right. All right. So that's still selected. Associate parameter, new parameter, roof material. All right. Okay. Okay. So back into plan view. You can't really see it in the plan view. So let's go to front elevation. There's it. Okay, and then we can just pull the grab handles out to the reference plane and lock it. And lock. All right. So we have the beginnings of the house, right? That's been, you can control that now for, let's do it actually. We'll give it, put that on screen. So we could give it a depth of 5 meters, let's say, and a width of 9 meters. And we change the pitch to 35 just to make sure it works. Fascia height to 200, and the soffit, we'll give that 200 as well. All right. Okay, all worked. Perfect. Now, what we don't have is a height parameter, so we don't know the overall height. If you don't need to know, then stop there, and that's fine. Job done. Although, do you know what? I'm going to put a path in around the perimeter. Okay, so go back into reference level and create reference planes just around the outside, left, right, top, bottom. Okay. Okay. So dimension reference planes off the one that has the wall on it. Okay. And that's telling you. Escape. So select those dimensions and new parameter. We call it path width. E. Change it to, let's say, a meter or something. All right, and then in an elevation, I'm going to give the path of depth. Create reference plane underneath the ground level. And dimension, escape. Dimension, same thing. Create parameter, path, depth. Make it thickness. Okay. So reference level, create extrusion, pick lines, pick the outside reference planes we just created, and the inside ones. Okay. Trim all over the place. Okay. So our path is formed in between those pink lines, okay? And okay. So back into an elevation, and using your grab handles again, you can just lock that to the reference level and pull the top one down to the path plane there, and lock into 3D. We'll have a look at that. Brilliant. So select the path. You need to give it a material, of course, as well. So associate parameter, new material, path. Okay. Okay. And one other thing is I want to control the visibility in this because you don't always want to have it there. Sometimes it's handy and sometimes it's you don't want it. So select it, cross and visible, click on the associate parameter and new parameter and call it path, whatever path visibility is, let's say. You can leave it in the grouping it's in if you want, but I tend to just put it into visibility grouping. Makes sense. And type is fine. Okay and okay. All right. So now we have that shape done now, so we can control the height, the pitch, the width, and all that stuff. Okay. So I just want to put in a calculated height parameter. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If we go into family types, so what we have, right? We have the height to gable. Where's that? Ground to soffit. Okay. So we have the ground to soffit. That's the first height, and then we have the fascia. That's the next height. So what we don't have is the height of the, let's say, the tiled area of the roof. Right. We have the pitch. We have the angle. So I don't know if you remember your trigonometry. Silly old Harry caught a herring trawling off America. So trawling off America is tan is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So new uh, pitch height. Okay, roof pitch height. Okay, equal to. Okay, so it's tan, right? Open brackets. Now, what do we call our roof pitch parameter? Pitch. Okay, so pitch. You can close the brackets and times open brackets. Depth. No, half depth. Depth divided by 2. Plus the soffit. I'll explain all this in a sec. Do I have it all? Tan equal to tan of the pitch times depth divided by 2 plus the soffit. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so what we've done there is that I should show it to you in. I'll go into a side view and show you. So the tan of this angle, right? So and the hang on, I'll get those properties back on the screen for you. So tan of the pitch, tan is 35 times the depth, which is the whole depth of the house. Can't see that there, sorry. Divided by 2, so it's half the depth of the house. We're making the triangle, right? So we're making the triangle here, okay? Plus the soffit. So the triangle goes out to the edge of the soffit, you see? And that's how we're calculating the height. Okay, so back into our type properties. We're here. So we have all the height parts. Now we just need an overall height. Okay, so new property, sorry, new parameter, and we call it height. And okay. Again, you don't necessarily need this if you don't, this is just, it's useful though in some circumstances. So we got height is equal to soffit to gable. What do we call that? Ground to soffit plus the fascia height, which we called fascia, plus the roof pitch height. And when you're typing these formulas, don't forget you have to be exactly the same as the parameter name. All right, so the overall height then is 3615.7. Now, just as a by the way, you could set it up so that the height is set. Maybe for instance, okay, it's very likely if you get a survey, topographical survey, you're going to get a soffit level and a ridge level. Okay, in that case, it actually might be more useful to control the soffit height and the height from the soffit to the ridge, and then maybe calculate the pitch instead of the height of the roof, if that makes sense. We could do that. It's just a matter of doing things the other way around. Okay, and if you wanted to be really smart, and maybe you do, you could have it so that it does both. So you can calculate get the heights both ways, and then tell it which one to pick. So you tell it calculate by roof pitch or calculate by ridge height or something. Okay. Look, there'll be another 10 or 15 minutes on the video, so I'm going to cut it short there. But look, if anybody actually does want that for whatever reason, again, just put the comments in the thingamajig, and I'll make the video. All right. Uh, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was useful. And if it was, pass it on to somebody else who might be able to use it. And please like the video and comment and let me know how you're getting on with it. It's good to hear from you. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed, click the button. And we'll see you next time. Okay. All right. God bless. Bye bye.